All right, comic fans.
No.
That's pretty rad.
Doing.
All right.
That was pretty rad. I'm a little scared, guys.
Me too.
You're a little scared, is what you said?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm not that scared. I mean, I'm kind of scared a little bit. I'm a little intimidated because tonight on Spotlight, we have joining us the great Baron Misuraca and Dr.
Greetings.
Chris McAuley.
You mean the great
Wow,
Dr.
that improvement.
Oh, I apologize. I apologize.
All right. It's great to be here, gentlemen. Thanks so much for having us.
Thank you for joining us.
Thanks so much for joining us.
And the pleasure's all ours.
Thanks so much for creating such an awesome comic.
You're very, very welcome. It's what we do. It's in our blood. No pun intended. It pours out of us. This is what we love. It's our passion. So it means a lot to have other people pick up on it and to be able to talk about it on a cool show like this. So we're just being ourselves. A day in the life.
I said we're cool.
What's that?
I feel like
I said you're cool. Yeah, no, I'll say it over and over again. That'll be the whole show, just me saying how cool everything is. For
No, because we want to focus on some comics.
Good idea.
Now, pull up In Flesh and Spirit, would you? Just to give some people a taste, if you will.
Oh, here we go.
So Baron,
Yes.
what inspired you in Flesh and Spirit?
Well, let's see. There's a lot of inspiration behind it. The story of In Flesh and Spirit chronicles the origin and ongoing saga of my character, once a 14th century musician, medieval musician. You could tell there in that page, the page on the right, who was ultimately blasphemed by the church that he is commissioned to. And through a rather bizarre and horrific turn of events, he finds himself reborn in contemporary New York City, which is a horror show in and of itself. New York is a place where anything can happen, and often does. So that's the basic premise of the story. And to me, it's In Flesh and Spirit is a metaphoric autobiography, if you will, and it's based upon, in a fantastic manner, based upon real life events and passions and desires and things like that, all put together to offer pure escapism for the reader and for myself especially. The art, as you can see here, was heavily influenced by the 1970s horror comics, of which I have a sample right here, especially the ones that Marvel put out in the 70s, things like Vampire Tales.
Oh, right on. That's
Morbius right there, a great Marvel vampire. So a lot of influence is taken from that. And of course, things like Vampirella and the Marvel comics that were in black and white as well. Tomb of Dracula, the list goes on and on and on. So that was a major influence. And also the classic horror films, Universal, from the 30s and 40s. This book it's a tribute to that in a lot of ways. And also the Hammer horror films from England that followed after Universal. So it's as if we took all of that and put it in a cauldron and added some blood and stirred it all up, and then you pretty much have In Flesh and Spirit, and there we are. It's really been it's almost like an out of body experience for me. We really transformed ourselves into another realm, like something out of the Twilight Zone or something like that. And of course, it wouldn't be what it was without my artist dream team, as they say. Dream or perhaps nightmare, if I want to throw in a corny pun, which I do often. And the team, of course, consists of Chris, the colorist, responsible for getting all that midnight blue and those dark, heavy tonalities in there, and also responsible for getting me into Tidal Wave Comics as well. So thank you, Chris, once again. And also,
very good job, Chris.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely. And also, real quick, cover artist Alex Horley, the great Alex Horley, who's known for his work with Vampirella, again, and Lobo from DC Comics. The list goes on and on. Oh, wow. Interior was done by a great artist based out of Australia, who's also a Marvel and DC contributor, David G. Williams. He did the pencils and inks for the interior, the bulk of the book. The gray tonalities in the interior were done by Jerome Wimberly, an American artist. And then we had a few little things that we had to touch up. There were some nudity issues in the book that could have put us in a precarious situation with the distributor. So we had to get somebody in there and draw clothing on some of the private parts that were exposed. That artist is Ash Corvida in Germany. I just want to say I noticed that the body parts were clothed very, very silkily lightly. You know what I'm saying? Things were just still presenting themselves rather well. Those were okay, but we had like full frontal nudity, female nudity that had to be covered up because of the distributor. And then she actually came in and drew like brassieres and things like that on the characters in a seamless manner. So that definitely saved us in the 11th hour from not having the book be in like a plain brown wrapper in the back of the store or something.
Wow.
So I'll be more careful with that in the future. So that's my team. This wouldn't be anything nearly close to what it is without them. So tremendous amounts of gratitude and love for everybody. I hope some of them are watching, listening. I know Chris is watching and listening. He has no choice.
Let's find out if they are watching. Let's check out chat real quick and see what's going on. So we've got Leslie Egbert says, "Hey everyone."
Hi Leslie. She's not one of the artists, but hello. Thank you for tuning in.
House Lordbridge says, "Hey."
Hey Rich. Thank you for tuning in.
Lucas Kime says that looked epic.
Thank you, Lucas, and thanks for being here with us.
I love this comment.
JD Smith, Digi Artist. Go ahead, Fry. Go ahead.
JD Smith, Digi Artist says CryptoComics got Peter Steele and Conor McGregor in the studio today. Nice.
Conor McGregor. There you go.
I hear that often. I don't hear the Conor stuff. He does, but
I feel like both of you guys have heard that one before, maybe.
Yeah, the Peter Steele thing all the time. If you guys don't know, Peter Steele was he's no longer with us.
Oh yeah. Where?
The frontman of Typo Negative and Carnivore, and one of the bands that I'm in is Carnivore AD, which is an extension of that. And Pete was an old friend of mine from Brooklyn, New York as well. So thank you for remembering him, whoever wrote that.
Giant man.
Yes, he certainly was.
Oh, big dude.
He certainly was.
Him once, and that is one of two people that I've ever met that physically intimidated the hell out of me.
Yeah, he was 6'7" and a giant personality and a giant heart as well, and a giant sense of humor.
Super polite, but
absolutely.
Bassist or a guitarist?
I'm sorry.
Peter Steele, was he a bassist or a guitarist?
A bassist and vocalist, yeah.
Oh, okay, awesome. Same as you, same as the Great Baron.
Yeah, well, thank you. But and as I was saying, my band Carnivore AD is an extension of his band Carnivore. So I'm kind of in his role, Inner Conflict, and all the music that I sent you. That's all compositions from Carnivore prior to Typo Negative. Yeah. And Carnivore AD is an extension of Carnivore. Paying tribute to his music and to an old friend. He was a friend since I was 16 years old back in Brooklyn. And we all came out of the same music scene in New York City. So that's pretty much what that project is about. Wow. And it had some of the involvement from the original other members of Carnivore as well. And it's all done with their endorsement and with their approval. Nice. So so that's so funny that I knew Pete was going to come up eventually, but it's good that he came up so early. So thanks again to our friend that mentioned him there.
Well, Digi is so awesome.
What's that?
What? Except for when he gives me crap. Why is he
what about you, Dr. Chris? Do you ever just pull your shirt off and beat the crap out of somebody? And
me personally, or Jared?
No,
never.
Chris.
All right.
Connor.
No, I've never had to do that. No.
Okay, let's not start it tonight. Okay, we're friends here.
Oh, looks like we got somebody else here.
We got somebody. Wait, Darren, how did you show up?
You're welcome.
My heck, I was like, I'm sure he'll be here. They were all like, call him.
Now the gang's all here. Cheers. Good to see you, Darren.
Good to see you guys.
All right, man.
Down the hatch. Cheers, blood in your eye.
Oh, hey, everybody, cheers. Everybody out there, cheers. And while you're doing it, like, subscribe, share if you care.
I'm buy.
Always buy. But if you can't buy it, share it out so someone else can buy it from them.
Right on. The next best thing.
Buy 4. It's going to be a great early Christmas present.
Darn Skippy.
Very nice.
And can we get the link to where they can buy that from?
Yep, the link's actually already inside of the chat if you scroll up, but I'm going to go ahead and put it here.
Excellent,
so that
excellent.
It's got an accurate time.
I just saw it. Sorry about that, boss. Just wanted to make sure everybody knew.
Mm-hmm.
Rock on.
Okay, and continue on through chat here.
Can we show his live one with the mosh pit?
Yeah, we could do that. Let me catch
conflict,
up on
okay.
chat real fast.
Okay.
We got
Wait, with the
Dominic
Peter still
Kobe
and
on
everything.
Facebook says, hello, everyone. What's up, Dominic? Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Dominic.
Jennifer Schwitz says, I love that. We got Nobody's Illusions saying that just popping in for a minute. Might not be as active as it used to be, but streaming it in the background. Comic looks so cool.
Cool. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks.
Jay Smith, Digiartist, comes back in talking about the clothing options, I guess we'll word. Saying, so the character's pants have veins.
Yes.
Oh.
My pants? They have veins? Do they? All right.
It's an interesting question.
I usually
Baron.
charge extra for veins, but that's cool.
GF Andrew Dodge comes in to say, hello, comic gods. Thank you for sharing this in the link. Just picked up my physical copy. Also grabbed it in the marketplace so that I can read it without touching the physical.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
That's
Really
how you
enjoy
do
this.
it. Yeah.
All right.
She's so awesome. Dude's incredible.
Rose Kirby comes in to say, hi, good morning to everybody. Rose in the UK. Hope everybody's a great St. Patrick's Day yesterday. And hello from Rose.
We
Hello, Rose,
did.
from us.
Thank you for giving that in a post-pre sort of way.
Time travel.
Yeah, exactly.
I was thinking time travel, but then I was like, but is it time travel?
I just want to take this moment to apologize. We tried to explain what the multiverse is to Jared about 3 months ago. He's still wrapping his head around it.
Don't lie, Fry. I totally got it figured out.
He's on top of it. Wesley comes in on Facebook
Cool.
saying, hey, Jared!
Yeah. Woohoo! You want me to try to do the multiverse for him?
No, wait. I know what it is.
Hey.
It's a plethora of verses that are combobulated.
That is the worst definition I think I've ever heard in my life, hands down.
But
and
it's
I've
not
read DC
at
Comics.
the same time.
That's all I'm saying.
It's not wrong.
Yeah.
It's not wrong.
You don't always have
All
to.
right.
We're all at a loss for words.
That's because it's not wrong. I'm telling you.
Send the vampire gods out at him.
What?
Okay, and so you wanted to do the video for Master Plan? Was that right, Jared?
Well, no, not master plan. I wanted to do the live one.
Inner conflict, right? From the
Inner conflict.
From the
That was
German
the one.
Okay, yeah. Let me. I can get that one prepped. It's not prepped and ready to.
That's
rock
the one that's the one that's more in kind of homage to Peter, right, Baron? Or
yeah, from Carnivore AD, the band that's basically homage to Pete and an extension of Carnivore. Inner
yeah,
conflict,
that's the only reason I was thinking of that one. Master
Plan is the Plasmatics song. Wendell
that's
Williams
right.
and
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like two
And if
tribute
you
things.
guys haven't checked out Plasmatics, check out Plasmatics, man. The lead vocalist.
She was. She's no longer with us, but
Well, I can put on Master Plan right now. That one is prepped and ready to rock. So
Let's
give me a few
roll that
minutes. I
one
can
just
try
to
get
show
that one.
homage.
Okay.
okay. This was a
wanna show
lot of
that.
fun. This video was.
Okay.
All right.
Did you want to keep talking about it real quick, Baron? You want to tell us what we're about to see?
Sure. Well,
watch
the name of this project is like my side project called Motor Plasma, which features music from Motorhead and the Plasmatics. I don't know if you guys know those names.
We know.
Whenever I come out of the genre, nobody knows what the hell I'm talking about. Even in the genre, people don't know what I'm talking about. But so this is Motor Plasma, and this song is called Master Plan, which is a song that the Plasmatics did back in the early 1980s. This also has the endorsement of the original members of the band as well, who I've worked with in the past as well. Tremendous honor. As I mentioned, Wendy was a friend. The moments I was able to spend chatting with her was among some of the finest memories of my life back when I was a kid. Even had a mohawk like she did and everything as well. Wendy tragically is no longer with us. She's been gone since 1998. Without getting into too much detail of what happened, but try to keep this lighthearted. So so this is a homage to some of the antics she would do on stage. Obviously, I don't look as good as she did doing it. You saw the frame.
Don't worry, we understand.
I can't even compare to that.
We understand.
Yeah.
She was awesome.
Yeah. So this is but and that's pretty much it. It's a fun song. It's great music, and we had a lot of fun putting this video together. The editor from this video is my guitarist, who performs in the video, Evan Strumar. He also is the editor of the comic book trailer that we aired before. So Evan and I have this whole creative workshop kind of thing going on here, coming up all sorts of insane things. And this is one of the insane things that we came up with. So having said that, hit it.
One, two, fuck you. Master plan. Master plan. Master plan.
God, that was a fun afternoon. That was a great day.
Now, you know what I mean?
Are you allowed to stay at hotels after that, mate? Are they not?
Nobody, look, the hotels don't really know. So, and we shot that in New York. So I was able to go right back home after that. But that was a lot of fun. I still have a piece from the television set right here, as you can see.
That's awesome. Yeah, total souvenir. Total souvenir.
The only thing that wasn't
That's
completely
awesome.
pulverized into smithereens. But yeah, that was a great afternoon. We had a blast. Also on drums, my old friend, the great Mark Del Cielo. I want to mention him. And special thanks to I'm forgetting the name, the tire shop that let us use their property to do that. And Spencer, who was the guy that was my destruction consultant on that. So special thanks to those guys. It was a great afternoon.
That's a job.
I know.
Wendy. Hey, everybody. Cheers to Wendy.
Yes, absolutely. With love. Down the hatch.
Okay, so I got a question for you.
Destruction consultant job for a second.
What's that?
Let's talk about this destruction consultant job for a second. Is this
Please.
something a guy needs to go to trade school for? Is this something I just walk into?
Actually, no. Spencer was self-taught when it came to destruction and construction. He was a guy that smashed televisions before. He's the manager of the tire shop where we shot that. He just had a vast knowledge of how things are made up and what happens when you destroy certain things and electricity and circuitry and all that kind of stuff. So it was good to have him on board. That was the first time I attempted that after all these years. You would have thought I would have been doing this a lot more often in the past.
Yeah.
So he definitely him and I sat down and we actually did this in a very precise manner. Oh, if I hit it from this angle, this will happen. We'll do it this way. We'll do it that way. So everything. This is all like controlled chaos, which is something that the original band, the Plasmatics, did. Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's completely insane, but it's really controlled and it's safe. We went over everything for safety reasons. Although I probably should have been wearing goggles or something, but I made sure my eyes were half closed. And
I was about to say OSHA would have pulled the plug on that shit
What's
right
that?
away. OSHA, without your goggles and your hard hat and stuff, you were not safe. There was some aspect. You were
true.
on
Yeah.
edge.
As
You
safe
were
as we could
risking
be.
it all. Don't
But he's
break
rock
this
and
down
roll,
for me.
Charlie.
I have an image here
rock
of
and roll,
greatness
huh?
where you were risking your life to destroy that TV for me.
Well, I mean, it looks a lot more extreme than it is. To be honest, maybe I shouldn't say that. We should keep the mystique going. But when I say safe, we wanted to make sure that there was nobody around and it was done in a safe place with a lot of space and open outdoors and that kind of a thing. If we had done this in a small room, it would have been a good idea. So that's what I mean about safety. Yeah, I guess I did take a chance with certain things, but
For all of us.
it was worth the risk. And here is Evan Stramar, my editor and the guitarist. Spencer Whaley of Action Tire in Long Island City, New York. So I'm glad he chimed in there.
Tires.
As my dementia kicks in, it's good to have a little bit of backup there. So special thanks to everyone that was in the video and to Spencer and everyone that watched it, and and the remaining members of the Plasmatics and all the fans. It was a lot of fun. What better way could there be to spend a Sunday afternoon than that? I have to ask. So
right.
We couldn't think of a better way to spend a Sunday afternoon. So there we are.
For your next issue of the comic, man, I want a building to explode and for you to walk casually away as the building explodes in the background. I think that's the next thing.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea, Chris. That's actually very Plasmatics. Yeah, to walk away from an explosion.
Yeah,
no question about it.
Maybe just doing a bit of old.
What's that?
So doing
blow up a building and have it falling behind you.
Yeah. Well, in comics, you could do all that, So if we were to try to do that in real life, obviously that would be an issue.
No, not in real life. No, allegedly in real life.
Yes.
Well, there's a
fine comic book.
Yes, for us, there's a fine line between reality and the comic life, anyway. So
right, all of our superpowers actually only exist in the comic.
Yeah. In real life, my stupor power exists. That's a whole different story. But this is what we do. It's what can I tell you? I'll do anything to avoid getting a regular job. So there you go.
Amen.
Yes, down the hatch to that, right?
Well, I need a real job. Darren, you gonna give me a job?
You can clean out fryers or
What?
something. You know what you do anyway or something?
And while you're hiring, I just found out that I'm the perfect person to be a destruction consultant. Just to throw my hat in the ring in case you ever look for that in the future and Baron decides not to work.
Hey, you know what?
I don't mean fry. Sorry, fry. That's.
Oh, shut down! Even as a destruction consultant,
See, that
hang your head
job.
in shame, Fry. Hang your head in shame, Fry. Oh, we just can't have that right now. All right, now let's bring him back. Everybody cheer when he comes, so he's not crying. Hey, Fry, we love
I hate
you.
Jared. I hate him.
It's a love-hate
For real.
relationship, right?
No, there's no love anymore.
Just hate relationship. All right.
Just hate it.
All right, Baron, I got a
He
question
said that, not
for
me.
you.
Sure.
So,
please.
going from like writing music to writing comics, I mean, it's a completely different format, kind of different headspace and everything. What is it like to kind of make that transition?
Actually, to be honest, it really wasn't that much of a transition. I got to be honest. I'm also the lyricist of my I have an original band as well. The videos that we're seeing here are more the tribute stuff, but it wasn't really that much of a transition. It was kind of like writing lyrics. As a matter of fact, I even used some excerpts from some of my lyrics and some of the songs in the dialogue and in Flesh and Spirit. So the transition wasn't that difficult, and it's all coming from the same place. It's just they're just different vehicles for the conceptualization, if you will. So I mean, obviously, it's a different format. In the book, you have to fit words into the book, and music obviously into the music. So it was a little bit different in that respect. But the basic premise of it was the same, and the transition was pretty seamless. It all just fell together naturally. So yeah, it's it all ties in. Like I said, it all comes from the same place, as far as I'm concerned. What that place is, we don't know, but it comes from there.
So I got a question real
Yes,
quick.
you and the tall one up on the top row.
That would be Mrs. Brady.
Darren!
Yes, that's right. This whole thing is very Brady Bunch. I was thinking the same thing, actually. But
No, okay, Matt, would
some
you pull
family,
up,
imagine having kids that look like this, right? I mean,
Alfie
pull up the comic? And my question is for Dr. Chris. No, he won't save you. I've already asked. But pull up the go one more page over.
Which direction, Jared?
That direction. Okay. So
You want
close
to
in
talk
on
about
that
this
page right
coloring,
there.
huh?
So Chris, did you do the coloring for this?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's freaking.
It was really easy because the artwork was so good, and the Baron's such an amazing character. You know, I mean, I know him in real life, and obviously the real life character is more vibrant than a comic book can be. But the comic book character, it's just perfect to color. And I had this vision of, you know, obviously this hellscape. You know, he's being swept up in this hellscape, this maelstrom of music and desire and passion that he's not allowed to display. And actually, it's forbidden for him to display that. It's possibly because you know, in childhood it's always been quite structured and rigid. Music was a way for him to you know, express that, and that's what I got from the character in the comic. So when he does let loose, it does open up a sort of a rift, something that is forbidden, and a rift, and then it allows certain things to come through that rift. I'm not going to give the comic away, but every page I colored, it was a delight to do so, and very, very, very strong narrative, very character based. I think all horror should be character based. I've never been a fan of slasher horror. I've always been a fan of psychological and character based horror, because it has to matter. It has to matter what happens to the individuals. It has to matter what happens to the people in the plot for it to be truly horrific. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
Well, I love that page when I first ran into it, and I was just scrolling down through it, and the way that the page is, I totally agree with you with the character and the point in the story that's going on there. Like, you guys captured that moment so awesome, awesome. Yeah. I just want to give props to everybody. That was freaking fantastic.
Cool.
It's just a killer page.
Thank you. Yeah, Chris really summed it up perfectly. That really was what was behind everything, and everything happened in a very natural flow. Chris and I were almost like thinking like one person. Yeah, I mean, it was a great thing, and it was such a treat when I would get the proofs for each page. It was something else. We're both coming from.
Oh, it was like probably like Christmas. You're like,
yeah, it's like Christmas 24 times, because it's 24 pages. It's like 24 Christmases. So yeah. I mean, it was an artistic triumph for us on a personal level. There's no question about that. He really took it and brought it to the next level, and it was his idea essentially to be the colorist of the book. Chris, I had known Chris online for a while, and he just essentially contacted me one day and he's like, "Oh, how about I colorize the book?" And I'm like, "Sure." Initially, this book was a project that was done a couple years back, strictly in black and white, with gray tones. Throughout the lockdown here, with all the extra spare time we've had, I kind of brought it back out again. And then Chris saw it and he came up with the idea, and we went with it. We had a brief discussion on the palette. The deep purples and the midnight blues and the
I love
grays
that.
and all
I love
that.
that. Yeah.
And then he just went with it, and everything was just it was just great. That's how I like to work these days. Just got like a lot of great people that know what they're doing, and let them just run with it. Have like a discussion on the direction and just go with it. So and that's what
I like to do too.
Yeah, it's great when that can happen. So and that totally happened here with Chris and with everybody else involved in this thing. So it was great. And Chris is also responsible for introducing me to Darren.
Right on.
There he is. And getting this whole tidal wave comics thing, our association with it going. I basically said to him, almost like half joking around, like, "Oh, do you know of a publisher that could put this out?" And then he was like, "As a matter of fact, I do." And here we all are. So, and I got to say in closing, none of this probably would have happened if we weren't in lockdown, didn't have all the extra time that we had, and I might not have been inspired to bring the book back out, and he might not have saw it. So we really feel like we made a positive out of a very negative situation. And it's
totally
really that can happen. What's that?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I mean, I think it's super positive. What the culmination of talent on this project is super positive because we get to enjoy a really fantastic story. I mean, you're right. Chris really nailed it. The way that you guys focused on the character, you bring out those deep tones and the colors and things like that as you progress through the story. It's fantastic. Like it's an easy, digestible read. You travel through it nice and steady and just like, oh yeah, okay, all right. And I love that one scantily clad lady.
Oh boy, of course you do.
There's a lot of them here. There had to be, because we wanted to kind of compete with Vampirella and Lady Death and all that. But how do you do that with me as the main character, right? So we kind of threw in the female characters just to break up the monotony of having to look at me. So that was kind of the thinking behind that.
Are you needing a hint on the name, Jared? Is that your problem?
What? Pardon?
I'm sorry?
Are you needing a hint towards her name?
Oh, well, actually, I think I know her name.
Let's do this. If you look inside a chat right now, there might be a hint for the name.
Oh, right.
Oh, we're doing the badge code
You
already.
are the man. We got a badge, people. All right. Going to badge.
Cool.
It's like herding cats here, fellas.
All right, just give me 1 second. I got to spell that.
All right.
Oh,
so,
wait, it left. Oh, there it is. Okay.
everybody, if you go to your dashboard, come down here to my badges and enter the code that you see on your screen now. Yeah.
Now, what you guys can't see very well, probably, unless you got a really big screen, is there's actually teeth around the flesh. That's bad A. That's bad A. I freaking dig that. That's a cool badge. That is a cool badge.
And let's see, first person inside of the dash. Let's do that. The first person that we see that's awarded that badge code, we are going to go ahead and we'll do the first T-shirt for them.
Wouldn't that be Frogs? Frog Toys too?
Let's find out. So there's the shirt. And it's beauty.
Dude, can we just send me one?
Sweet.
Looking inside here. Yep, looks like it is username FrogToys2. I believe that's dominant.
Nice.
Right?
Nice. Frog Toys 2. Oh, you're too late, Cryptic T3. Sorry, bud. Look at this. See, this is what happens when people slack. They ask us questions like, "What's the badge name?"
You gotta be ready. It's right there in the chat.
Gotta be ready. Gotta be ready, Cryptic T3.
You snooze, you lose.
It's really a
Dude,
beautiful
that's
cover.
bad. Hey,
cover
I
as
like
well.
that badge. Oh, that looks so cool.
Congratulations
I love
to the
that.
winner. Did that say the
We're all
Baron
winners,
Misuraca Award or
Aaron.
something? Did I see that correctly?
We're all winners, I think. Are we all winners, Darren?
We are always winners.
Woohoo!
Woo!
I thought I heard a question there for a second. Was there a question?
If
No?
we're all winners.
Okay. No, it just sounded to me like somebody had just asked a question and got talking over. So I was just making sure.
I do that a
Everybody's
lot,
got it.
guys. I apologize. I'm kind of really good at it.
I just talked about the cover there. I love the cover of that. I mean, it's just so striking and vibrant. It's beautiful, and it's perfect
Pretty
for a
rad.
teaser. Beautiful.
You know,
The great Alex
I'm-
Worley, once again. He's something else.
I
And
love
that
the
cover was definitely influenced by the old Marvel 1970s books, once again, the painted covers. So specifically, and if anybody remembers Brother Voodoo from Marvel Comics,
Oh, yeah.
1970s. Alex was kind of influenced by a Brother Voodoo cover from the 70s, and then kind of just, tailored it to match this story. So that was where the inspiration of that kind of montage thing came from that character. Not one of the more universally known Marvel characters, but a tremendous influence, as you saw. So, so thanks for, mentioning the cover, Chris.
Alex is so great. He's such a great artist.
Again, it's phenomenal that I had such an incredible group of talented people working with me on this project, and for peanuts, essentially. Everybody believed in what I was doing, and everybody had the same background and the same influences. So it's really a mind blower that I was able to assemble this and have it come together the way it did. And I'll forever be grateful for it. There's no question about that. So I wish I could pay everybody what they're worth. That's my only thing.
Don't
here.
worry. You will. It'll
Hopefully
all
someday.
come together. We just got to put it out into the universe. Be positive.
Right on. Yeah,
Right?
yeah, absolutely. Very much.
The
so.
money's coming. I used to go to this meeting, and this guy would always be like, "Waterfalls of money. There's waterfalls of money right around the corner." I never knew what he was talking about, but I figured it's bound to happen, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I wish I knew which corner.
I'm not your AA meeting that way.
What, Darren?
I'm talking about your AA meetings that way.
Hey, now, come on now. Don't be telling people I go to AA.
You're
Hey.
all anonymous.
There's a reason why it's anonymous.
So I gotta say, guys, without giving anything away, I don't want to bring it up on the screen just so we don't give away any spoilers. But I gotta say, one of my favorite pages I've seen in the last couple of years is that last page of your guys' comic.
Yeah.
Beautifully done. Beautifully
you.
done.
Thank you.
It really is the best bit. I think that captures the heart and soul of the comic, and it's nice to reach that sort of crescendo through a really intricate story, and then you reach this beautiful finish. It's very emotional as well. I know it's a very personal page to you as well, Baron. So it's lovely.
Yeah, I mean that.
And there's a plot twist, and it's
Definitely
Andrea.
something very personal. Yeah, definitely a plot twist, like almost like a Twilight Zone influence. Actually,
Yeah,
Chris,
really-
you
it
mentioned
really
that was your
threw
favorite
me.
page as well. I remember.
Sorry,
You said
sorry.
that was one of your favorites.
It is. It's. I think it's actually the best page. It's one of my favorites. I love it. It was very, very touching. It's a very
Yeah, and very touching for me too.
Very beautiful.
It's got a lot of meaning behind it, and the way you depicted it. All of a sudden, now we have like a lighter blue, golden kind of a thing, where the rest of the book is like really drab and plotting with colors. Then all of a sudden, the way you launched into that.
Well, it's hope. It's
that was something else.
It's hope, and it's a look for something that's greater beyond ourselves. And,
Yeah, it certainly is hope,
it's-
and that's what hope would look like color-wise. I got to confess, when I first saw it, I wasn't exactly sure, but then
I remember.
then I got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about it a little bit, but
Yeah,
then I
yeah.
totally got it. And then when I saw the print, I'm like, I get it even more. So,
See,
yeah,
one
that's
of my
incredible. I'm
one
sorry.
of my crescendos in not the very last page, but it's the picture right before the last page, because you it's
Where I'm
through the
running
book,
into the church. Yeah.
you guys focus on his eyes, a lot, and then that last picture, like it's like looking into humanity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that kind of sums it up. That kind of sums it up. The vampire all of a sudden is able to do away with his aversions of any sort of holy imagery, because the character is definitely has a lot of morality in him, and he's constantly struggling with himself and the predicament that he's in. It's like a struggle between an insatiable lust for blood and a spiritual quest for redemption. And that really summed it up at the end, that he was actually able, for at least that moment, to just break through that and just he's looking for salvation, and he's able to find that in the embrace of this figure. What?
Don't give it away.
Well, no, I didn't give it away.
Give it all away.
I don't know what was happening there for a
You
minute.
gotta get them to they gotta go get it to see the greatness that was captured by your team. It really,
Yeah. Well,
the way
that's
you
all we'll
guys
say.
did it and captured it was fantastic.
Yeah,
Fantastically
cool.
done.
Thank you. Real quick, I have here with me one of the original black and white versions of the book, just to show you guys some of the last page that we spoke about. Can you see that? Am I holding this the right way?
Mhm.
Or was it in black and white? I don't know if my light is distorting that.
Yeah.
I need my God.
Yeah, you can.
It looks like you're
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so that's
Did
where
you
we
see
were.
what that did, Chris?
Just to give you an idea of the transmutation and the metamorphosis that took place here, that Chris brought into the picture. And real quick, I'll show you Jared's favorite page here, and then I'll put this away. Just give me about 45
Oh no,
minutes.
it's the picture right before that picture. It's the bottom right corner.
Right, okay. No, I
right
mean the one you
before that
mentioned,
picture.
the purple one.
Oh, that's
So this is
black and white.
before Chris got a hold of it.
and after.
Wow, that is so cool.
Again, the light is reflecting on it and distorting it a
So
bit. But,
this is the original comic. This
was the
first
original
one
that
came
was put
with.
out self-published, essentially, long story short, which I had almost considered to be like something that I had already done. But like the monster in all the classic horror films, the monster never really dies. He'll always be back. And that was the case here with me with this. And again, you mentioned the thing about the eyes, another homage to the old horror films. Bela Lugosi, you'd always see the eyes or the bats flying in his eyes and things like that. So that's all here. From the get-go, I'm like, I have to do all of this stuff. I have to have the bats in my eyes. I have to have the shadow behind me like Nosferatu. It's like, this is what we're doing. So it's something I always wanted to do. I love the film so much that I just want to be in it. And I want to be the character. So this is the closest that I've gotten so far. So
That's awesome. So,
yeah.
So what's the arc looking like? Like how many issues do you plan on doing for this particular storyline?
Well, I mean, I'm definitely looking to move forward, all speed ahead. There's already outlines. I already have outlines for the next 3 issues.
Cool.
I had this discussion both with Darren and with Chris, actually. So, yeah, we're looking to go all full speed ahead. This is just the beginning. We're just getting started with the story. The first issue chronicles, the origin and where the character ends up. But now he's in his lair in New York City. So now we're really playing off of this whole New York thing. Perfect backdrop for horror, New York City.
Yeah, it really is.
So, yeah, even without a character in it. But Darren grew up in New York, and I grew up in New York, and I'm still here. So, you know the deal.
I'm actually I want to give personal tribute to Darren here, because I've worked with Darren on something else, and Darren's one of the nicest and best guys I've worked with. So
He is so nice.
I just want to throw that out there. He does a lot for the comic book community, and it's Batgirl you like, isn't it, Darren? It's the Batgirl. But we've had a couple of conversations. You've given me, yeah, Jesus, yeah, you've given me a few.
There you go.
Pointers about these kind of things. I inked the cover of Batgirl for fun, and Darren was straight on there. Well, that's my my favorite character. I know very little about some of
And I
these
think,
characters.
yes, and giving you credit here too, I think you are probably one of the newest people into comics that is the most well networked person. I mean, from working on The Mandalorian to working with, the Dracula franchise to working with us, Baron and I on this, you are so all over the place and doing so much. But my question really is for Fry. What is it like for you to interview a vampire? You're like Anne Rice and stuff.
Okay, let's go. Do I just
believe in all that stuff.
vampire tirades and rants here? Is that what gets to happen? Because y'all know I'm an Anne Rice fan.
Okay, go.
Me too.
Okay. So, how long is the series going to go? What do you already have written out for the next books?
Well, like I said, there are three outlines, for the next 3 issues. I don't really see an end in sight unless reality steps into play or whatever. But I'm looking to keep this going. I mean, this whole thing has been revitalized, and there's been new blood infused into this. So it's unstoppable now. I mean, obviously we have the reality of, budgets and things like that. So, I mean, that's the real horror. That's the real horror story, right?
Okay, so when it's picked up, just like the Vampire Chronicles was, and they make a bunch of movies that break the hearts of all the fans, what type of music is going to be featured in it? I mean, you can't do industrial because that was done with,
Right.
that was
that's
done
a
with
good question.
Queen.
Maybe semi-industrial. I kind of like the music that we had in the trailer. Would you call that industrial? How would you categorize that?
I think so.
Okay.
Probably.
It's industrial, but it had live guitar in it, and that's one of my compositions. That's one of my original compositions you heard in there. So it'll be somewhere a mixture of like a mixture of metal and industrial, I think, and goth without making it sound like anything else. It's not really a full industrial project. Again, there's live guitars and that kind of a thing. But I definitely see the music as being in that realm. And I also have like a lot of mood music written for the thing as well. That doesn't have all the noisy industrial drums and all that. Just like creepy, Moonlight Sonata type piano and all sorts of lush string sounds and things like that. So that's kind of what the vision is for the movie soundtrack. No, all we got to do is get a movie. And then we'll be.
Jared, you stop raising your hand. This is my turn.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jared. I didn't see you.
This is my show now, Jared.
I was raising my hand. I wasn't. I could have butted in. I was being super nice.
Actually, Andrew decides who gets to speak next. It's his show, right? So we just guessed.
So
with the mention of Anne Rice, I might actually be able to tell you that Christopher Rice is interested in having a look at the comic.
Ooh. You heard it here, folks. You heard it here first, folks. I'll let you know. So, Baron, one actor to play Baron in the movie, and it can't be you. Who is it?
Well, it would have to be me.
That's what makes this fun.
That's the way to answer that
it would be
question.
Without being you.
I'm sorry. I'm not being my usual diplomatic self with that answer. I would like it to be me. Again, first we got to get a movie, and then I guess all that'll be into play. I don't know who else could play this. To be honest, I don't know. Who do you think should play it?
Throw it all to Jared Leto, though. Leto, he plays all the vampires now.
Who?
Yeah, Jared Leto. He's like playing Morbius now.
I can't wait for that. That's going to be awesome.
Oh, yes, you have to get
There we
that
go. The
one.
reason we exist.
Shameless time.
Plug. Female Force Anne Rice. Signed by Anne Rice.
Oh my gosh!
Can I have that, Darren? Please.
I still believe people that have like a landline phone. And where is it here? And I posted this a long time ago, but I have a caller ID Anne Rice, and I'm like, and when you look at that, I'm like, what? So I actually have Anne Rice on my caller ID.
Oh, that's cool. So Darren and Chris, this question's for you guys. Say this movie did happen, and you guys had an opportunity to cameo in the movie. What character from the first book would you want to cameo as?
Apathess.
Interesting question. I don't know. Probably would have to write a character. I think it would be something, maybe an Irish priest, an Irish priest, something like that. But a positive, some sort of redemptive figure. I think that role possibly suits me best. This sort of figure, a redemptive figure, but somebody who understands. I think it's very important to understand other people's stories, to be able to be comfortable telling your story, but also to listen to other people's and understand, know where they're coming from. So maybe maybe we could write me in as a character in the next comic.
Chris is like, wait a minute.
You can't blame a guy for trying. Hey,
I was totally sold, dude. I was like, yes, that's the character we need to see.
I want to be the Christian Slater character. Oh wait, wrong movie. Sorry.
Oh,
This is better. I love.
You want to be the reporter? That's a great idea.
All right, Darren, I got a question for you. So what was it like working with these guys?
Okay, honest to God, the weirdest thing was, and I don't know if this is coincidence or whatever, I'm like, okay, let's do it. Because I usually at 5 o'clock, I'm kind of done with my day. I'm kind of like doing whatever. And so I don't really like take a lot of meetings. And Baron's like, yeah, you can talk after 7 your time. I'm like, I'm on the Pacific Coast, so that's 10 o'clock your time. We always had to have meetings at night. And so having meetings with a vampire at night was always kind of weird. That was fun. And
Yeah.
between, Chris and Baron, you guys have been super, because I did make changes in this book, and there was some nudity in it and stuff, and just so we can get more readership and we don't have to put rated R or rated X or whatever, they were pretty minimal to my changes and pretty easygoing with it, and they didn't say no, and there's stuff that they wanted, and I'm like, sure, whatever. I mean, we worked really well together, so I am excited to see the next story arc with it. So it's been a lot of fun. So, but once again, the calls after, literally it's 6:55 now.
I'm sorry, Darren. This was your idea.
It's not yet no accident that we're doing this at this time. I got to get a good day's rest before I could get to work. So But yeah, it's been a lot of fun working with Darren as well. I mean, I echo all the same things that he mentioned. It's been a very natural kind of relationship here. We're all flexible and open-minded, and we all want to put together something great. I think that's a common bond here. And if we have to, it's funny, Darren, we were talking about that before you came on, about the nudity issue, how I had Ash, the German artist, come in from Germany to draw the bras on the characters and all that. If it has to be done, it has to be done. Like I was saying, we didn't want the book to be in a plain brown wrapper in the back of the store, face down or anything. So
Right.
There really wasn't much of a choice. But but it makes all the sense in the world. It's all good.
And for us, just being a publisher, like when I first saw it, when Chris first brought it to me, it really is a good fit for Tidal Wave. We did the Vincent Price series, which is a Gothic series, and it is weirdly enough, it's our longest running series. We did over 100 issues of Vincent Price Presents, and it really fits into, this book really fits into that Gothic genre, that it's not, gore, and it's just a great story with great characters and great monsters. So it like he was saying, it's that classic movie monster feel. So super fun.
Big time. And that ties into Vincent Price heavily. So that's all coming from the same place, no question. And one of the things I love about being, as part of Tidal Wave Comics here is I'm right next to Vincent Price on one end. They got Dolly Parton on the other end. What could be better than that? So it's incredible.
Is there a comic book publisher that really has the range of Tidal Wave? I don't think so. There's really some amazing titles in there. I have a few favorites now. Raffle of Titans is actually one of my favorites. really love that comic. But yeah, the biographical stuff, Darren, I love that. I eat that up.
We just
I think
announced
it's great.
Dolly Parton today. If you Google Dolly Parton comic book, which I'm not going to take away from this, it comes up. So, but you know,
You did that today?
it just got announced today with Reuters. So you guys have the first shirts. You know, CryptoComics got the first shirts of the Dolly Parton ones. So
Yeah. I was going to wear it tonight, and this
I don't
guy right
We
here
all
wouldn't
were.
let me.
you know what? People are probably just TiVoing this episode, and they'll watch it in 2 days because everybody's watching Justice League. Come on.
Oh, that's right, Justice League. All right, bye.
Oh.
I forgot I gotta go. Bye.
I have to give one shout out because
Just kidding. I watched it 2 days early.
one of our friends, Baron's here, Gracie. She's here.
Oh,
Yeah.
Gracie
Gracie
here?
Howell.
Gracie.
Hi, Gracie. There she is.
There she is.
All
Hi,
right,
Gracie.
now we can really get started now.
Yeah.
Gracie's been great. You know, very, very supportive of everything that we're doing. So, you know, and a really cool person too. So it's always good to have her around. And she's very funny also. I mean, she could be like a stand-up comedian. The laughs are always monstrous when Gracie's around. So thank you for tuning in, Gracie, and for all your support. On behalf of us all, it's appreciated.
I think Daniel Craig would be good. I think he needs to get out of the James Bond thing. She requested, no Jared Leto. Nobody wants Jared Leto for this part. But Daniel Craig needs to get out of his James Bond-ness. So yeah, he can probably do it. But we want someone to make it a little younger than Daniel Craig. Daniel Craig can play me.
There you go. I got to start writing you into the story.
Since you guys say that Gracie's kind of the super fan, let's award another shirt then. Let's give that one to Gracie.
Ooh,
Nice
Okay,
one.
yeah, he definitely is a super
Nice
fan.
one.
Sure.
All right, Gracie.
Oh, I love that.
We're gonna hook you up with one of these fancy new shirts. And to get it, all I need you to do is make an account on CryptoComics.com. There's a little URL scrolling on the bottom of the screen for your convenience. On the dashboard page, when you first log in, you're going to see a comment box on the right-hand side. Just shoot me a message with your shirt size and your shipping address so that I can make sure I get it over to you, Gracie.
Hey, I want to ask a question that's going to make me look real bad, and I'm probably going to get a lot of flack for.
Can't wait, mate. Can't wait. Go on.
Okay. So, I know that the cover was done. Chris, did you help in the colors of the cover, or when someone does they do it all, don't they?
I didn't do that. I looked at that cover and it was just incredible. It just, I want to say as well about tidal wave covers. Darren knows this. Every time I see a tidal wave cover, I'm always sort of tight and going, "That's amazing. Who did that?" And yeah, it was no different from this. So unfortunately I can't take credit for this cover. I wish I could. It's beautiful, but I can't.
Well, so when a cover is done, I guess, Darren, okay, so you can answer this question for me then. When a cover is done, does generally the artist that does the cover do everything?
No.
No.
Sometimes yes and no. There's artists that I'm working with that, I have a colorist, that will do it. Sometimes you have to have an inker. Sometimes you have to have somebody paints it. Chris is a colorist too. It really depends on the artist itself. I do have people like Dave Ryan, who does a lot of covers for me, who will actually do everything from start to finish. It's helpful to have that because one-stop shop, but it's also some artists need to be ink, need to be colored. So.
Okay.
And again, that's the great Alex Horley on the In Flesh and Spirit cover. Yeah, that was a separate entity. That's usually how he works. He's more the cover artist. And same case with the Vampirella stuff he did, and Lobo and DC Comics, etc. So, yeah, and that's very 1970s comics as well. Well, the more larger size ones, like the one I showed you, where it's a different cover artist and a different guy doing the interior. So, we followed in that footstep.
Can you show your cover of your black and white?
Sure. Well, the cover on the black and white is the same as the color because the cover was in color.
Okay, so he did this for the original one.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This was yeah. this was kind of
That's
one
so
of the
awesome.
first things that was done.
It's such a badass color.
Yeah, no, it certainly is. I mean, I was just blown away when I saw that. I had seen some preliminary sketches that he had did prior, and then when he came together with the whole piece, it was really something else. He really captured it and beyond. And again, like I said, the influence was that Brother Voodoo Marvel Comics character from the 70s. That was kind of his inspiration behind that. So yeah, it was really something else. That really set the tone and the objective for the whole book. And the interior artist definitely used a lot of what he saw on the cover in the interior. So that really got us off.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's still a mind blower to this day when I look at that, you know. And I actually have the original as well, which was very nice of Alex to present that to me. Make a long story short. So yeah, great memories. It's really something else. It's a mind blower, and it's great that it's all back now. Like I said, this never dies. The monsters never really die, and the arts are forever. We'll all be gone, but this is still going to be here. Hopefully.
Yes, sir.
So,
no, there is no hope. There's only do, and we're going to make it happen.
Yeah, right on. So it's a beautiful thing. I mean, that's all I can say. There's a lot of love in this project, which is funny for a project that's about death and vampires and blood and all sorts of, you know, blasphemy and all sorts of stuff like that. There's really like a lot of love and warmth in it.
Well, the wonderful thing about you, Baron, is the fact that you really do honor people that have worked with you and influences. You really do. You're a really nice guy.
Well, thank you. And everybody I work with is nice, you know. So those are the people that I seek out and want in my life. You know, all of you guys. So yeah, everybody should be credited for this, especially a project like that. This was so much greatness, you know, oozing throughout the whole project. It's just, of course. So thank you and everybody else involved in this. That were crazy enough to get involved with me. I thank everyone. And that goes for the music as well.
So I'd like to get or kind of hear from chat. What questions do you guys out there have for our three guests? So that being said, should we actually, while they're typing questions out, should we get caught up on chat, guys?
Yeah, probably a good idea. We've kind of been neglecting it, Brian.
Sure.
Hey, we can
I
also
tried,
show that
but I
other
don't
video.
sound as good as you. What?
We can also show that other video.
Oh, let's do it! Hell yeah!
Okay, that's an idea. Inner conflict. While we're getting ready for the chat. So this song will make Master Plan sound like a lullaby.
I like inner conflict.
Yeah, so do I. And again, this getting back to Peter Steele. This is one of the songs that he wrote when he was in Carnivore for the second album, to be precise. And we performed this at one of the festivals that we had the honor of playing at. This was the Rock Hard Festival in Germany, summer of 2019. I was doing quite a bit of touring before, you know, the virus hit and all that. So this is when I was still working as opposed to just like hanging out on this chair. But we will be back again soon, and I've been talking to my booking agent in Europe again about some things. So I'm very happy to have that discussion again. But long story short, the clip is from the Rock Hard Festival, summer 2019. The song is called Inner Conflict. Wonderful footage shot by a great production team in Germany, who are good friends and supporters as well. HMH TV, they're called. And Inner Conflict. Give up because there is no hope.
Well, I have to clarify something. We have a little hashtag around here. Hashtag blame Jared. Because the video that I was delivered isn't actually Inner Conflict. It's labeled Carnivore AD Ground Zero Brooklyn.
Okay, that's a different
video that I have ready.
That's a different clip. That was from actually a small club in Brooklyn, the Kingsland. Very, very cool club run by some cool people. They're doing good now, like every other business, small business. They, you know, it was a rough time, but they're back up and running. So yeah, so this is we do small clubs as well. No job is too big or too small for us here. We're like the contractors in Long Island or something. So yeah, so that's what that footage is.
Hey Baron, did you know a guy named Andrew Glasser?
Can't say that I do. No.
Okay.
From Europe, a promoter, musician, or
heavy metal guy, kind of fan / from Long Island. He passed away like about 5 years ago. He's my brother's best friend.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear.
Really big into heavy metal and followed a lot of bands and actually was in a band. And and Long Island being that thing, so I thought I would give him a shout.
Okay, your name doesn't sound familiar.
Yeah. So.
But I'm bad with names. Maybe we may have our paths may have crossed. But I am horrible with names. But sorry to hear that he's no longer with us also. That list seems to be growing. We've spoken about a few of them today, actually. But and speaking of people that are no longer here, Pete, of course, from Carnivore, who is the composer of both Ground Zero Brooklyn and Inner Conflict. Whichever one is queued up, I don't know what we're playing here. But which one are we playing?
Well, let's find out.
Okay.
Jesus! I beg of thee, don't take my life. Return me to the womb from which I was torn. Birth is a sin, and the punishment is death. I wish you had left me. I wish you had left me. I wish you had left me unborn.
Ground Zero, Brooklyn, home sweet home.
Well, I have to apologize, Baron. So it seems that my forwarding capabilities are not as awesome as I once thought they were.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So
Meaning no inner conflict.
well, no
okay.
inner conflict, which sucks because that's when I watched. I was like, "Oh, this is awesome, yeah!" And I was gonna jam out and start a mosh pit in my freaking office. But I'm glad because I didn't want to break anything. So
Okay, good. So it was a
good.
blessing in disguise. But we'll show it next time. You know, the inner conflict video was great because I mean there was like an audience of about 5,000 people.
Oh, I know.
So,
I know it was
yeah,
incredible.
but it's okay.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I built it up. I made Fry look bad. I'm sorry.
Just looking around like what video?
It's all right. Who needs 5,000 people?
We do it, guys. This is how we do it. Everybody out there isn't surprised. I feel bad for you three, but
one sec
no
before we get to that question, let's roll the chat back a little bit because we're a little bit behind on chat here. So J. Smith Digiartis asks, is Dr. Chris really a doctor? And if so, what does he doctor?
I can confirm that I hold several PhDs, yeah. What I doctor? Well, this and that, mostly that.
oh, good.
But, yeah, I've a wide variety of interests. My first PhD was theology, ancient language, and things like that. So,
oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
like alien languages?
No, I wanted to be Indiana Jones.
No.
And I actually do
goes.
have the hat. The only thing I have is the hat. But I did want to be Indiana Jones at one stage of my life, and it just didn't work out. There was no funding for any digs in Palestine or anything like that. So
really,
yeah, I ended up going into the military, but that's a whole other story.
Whoa! So you're a bad A. You're a Dr. Bad A.
No, I'm a very gentle guy, you know.
Super gentle, I can tell.
All right, next question. Ask Baron what he thinks the best of the classic Universal monster movies. If he says Dracula, he is wrong.
My goodness. Well, I better not say that then. That's a tough question to answer. How do you answer that? I love them all. The original Dracula, even though I'm wrong or whatever, but the original Frankenstein, the original Wolfman, all of the the originals, the first introduction of the characters. So many other Universal films deserve mention. The Bride of Frankenstein. Mm-hmm. I love the entire Frankenstein series. The Bride of Frankenstein's Son, Ghost, etc. And they're all big influences. So I really can't pinpoint it down to one, to be honest. Everything I just mentioned, and maybe I'm even missing a few. Maybe it depends on what mood I'm in at the moment and what I feel like watching. But they're all kind of equal. It's difficult for me to pick one out over all the others. So, what does the viewer think is the best one? I'm curious.
I'll
turn the question around to the viewer. The viewers seem to have a very definite, sense of opinion there. So, what do you think is the best one?
Diddy is the one that came out with Peter, so he might have an excellent answer, and we'll all be like, "Oh yeah."
Oh, okay. That was the guy with the typo negative question. Okay, so I'm curious what other people think is one of the best. I love the Phantom of the Opera, the silent film, before they introduced sound into Universal. Even the end of the monster series, Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein. That was a great one.
That's classic.
Yeah, because all the monsters got to play their role straight. When Abbott and Costello were the goofballs. That's how Universal chose to end, the classic monster series and even some of the Abbott and Costello stuff as well. So, but there's a lot of great monster footage. Like, for example, the seeing the bats in Bela Lugosi's eyes, that was introduced in Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein. So a lot of great footage of all the characters there, and that was Bela Lugosi's return to the Dracula role in Universal. They had used John Carradine to play Count Dracula in the two previous films before Abbott and Costello. So that has a special significance to me as well. I even like the jokes too. Abbott and Costello were at their best and their cheesiest and all that. So This could be a whole other show. The Universal. That could be a show for another time, perhaps. Right? I mean,
Boom! Mic drop. You just freaking nailed it. Look at what Digi said. You just nailed it. Like, that was awesome.
All
That
right.
was awesome.
What do you guys think are some of the best Universal films? What do you guys think? What do you think, Darren?
I'm not the one to ask because when I was a kid, my brother used to chase me around with the actual Dracula novel.
Oh yeah, you told me that. That's a great
I
story.
remember you telling me this. Yes.
and it was the novel. It wasn't even a graphic novel. And so he had to keep it in the basement when we lived in New York because I was scared of the actual book.
That's a great story.
This guy scared me on the Muppets. So I am not the demographic.
All right.
It all scares me. But if I had to pick one, I'm going Frankenstein. He has the heart of gold, but he's still freaking scary. Yeah. At Universal Studios, going to the tour and seeing him, because I was like one of those kids from a long time ago, and you see him, and you're just like, oh, yeah, nope.
Right on. I'm a big fan of the monster as well, but I always found them enchanting. I don't know if I was really that scared, maybe a little scared, but there was something just like magical about them and cool. You know, even as a kid. That's why I turned out to be, you know, what I am now, I guess.
A vampire.
Or
My
something.
introduction to Frankenstein was Young Frankenstein with Gene Wilder.
Of course.
And, you know, after that, yeah, I started
Right
watching
on.
the old stuff, and I was like, okay, it's kind of cool.
Okay, that film was great because Mel Brooks based that on the classic Universal films. They even had some of the same props, some of the same gear, some of the same laboratory equipment from the original films. Mel Brooks was able to obtain that somehow. Yeah, and the characterizations, it was like a parody of all the films. And he was like a big Universal monster fan when he was a kid. Gene Wilder as well. There was a story that Gene Wilder mentioned about the famous scene where the monster is singing "Putting on the Ritz" with a doctor. Actually, Gene Wilder wrote that into Mel Brooks' script. And the reason why he came up with that, from as the story goes from Gene, was that he was scared of the monster like Darren was. But he always thought, but if the monster would just maybe sing and dance a little bit, I wouldn't be so scared maybe. And then they put that in the film. And initially Mel Brooks was against the idea, but he eventually gave in, and that's one of the most famous scenes in probably all of motion picture history. So, yeah, it's a beautiful thing. I'm all about all that kind of stuff.
You do a great version of that, by the way, Baron.
What's that?
You do a great version of Putting on the Ritz. I've
Oh,
seen
well,
it.
thank you. Yeah. I also do a lounge show, believe it or not, where I do Fred Astaire and Sinatra and Dean Martin. Haven't done it in a while, but very different than what you heard me do here as well. And Putting on the Ritz, of course, was one of the songs. I think the whole act was kind of based upon that scene in Young Frankenstein, actually. But like a monster in a tuxedo doing lounge material. So, you know, it's
Wow, that's awesome.
all this stuff is just phenomenal. It's a treasure, all the classics, and it means the world to me and to a lot of other people as well. So I think the viewer just wrote that Bride of Frankenstein was the answer for the Universal thing, right? I missed it, but like a few.
Oh,
Yeah,
here,
yeah,
let
he
me
put
throw
him
that back up there.
There he is. Okay, I did say Bride of Frankenstein too, so I'm.
Yeah, that's what I said. You nailed it. Like, boom, mic drop, man. You like totally owned it. I was like,
Yeah.
and not only that, you gave great like insight and backstory and so much information that I totally did not have a clue about.
Yeah,
It was
more
awesome.
information than anyone wanted to hear, probably. But
Oh no, we all want to hear it. That's why we're here.
thank you. The check's in the mail. Thank you. No.
Oh,
But,
you're welcome. Is that PayPal or?
Damn it.
just kidding.
We'll work that out later. Whatever. We have all different. Formats, you know? I think we have a Darren question here, right?
Is J.D. Smith the one that just commented? Is he the colorist, J.D. Smith? The guy from, like, who did Top Cow stuff and all that stuff? Is that who you are, J.D.? So that's the question. And if it is, thank you for doing the Tech News cover a long time ago, the blue one with Ken last week. So if that's the same guy.
If it's the same guy, let us know.
And if it's different, then I'm sorry, your digital stuff is just as great too.
We've got Dominic Kobe on Facebook saying, "Thank you, Darren. I thought I was the only one scared of that kind of stuff."
Cool.
Cryptic T3
You know,
says,
what was the first horror show that scared the crap out of me? Werewolf in London. That
Okay.
thing gave me nightmares.
Werewolf of London, yeah. Another great Universal film.
That's scary stuff.
Mummy's
That was
Hand for me.
scary as. I was like, I thought I was gonna die. I thought the werewolf was gonna jump off the building onto me and eat me.
You're lucky you didn't.
Thank you. I agree with you on that. It was scary.
Another great Universal film that was actually before The Wolf Man with Lon Chaney Jr. as we know it. They had done that first version of a werewolf type character. But that's a very creepy character with like the pointed ears and the whole bit. Very cool. I feel like watching that now. I have the DVD. When we're done, I think.
That movie was freaky, especially when she's having that dream and her face changes and she's that werewolf like split.
Yeah, right on. I haven't seen it in a while, but I got it right here. I'm gonna check it out tonight.
Yeah,
it's been a while. So
I used to love the Hammer horror stuff with Christopher Lee.
Oh yeah,
Christopher Lee's the master of all that sort of stuff. He just looks, and it's just really interesting guy.
Yeah, no question.
So I think himself and Lugosi, they just did such a good, they did really iconic versions of Dracula.
Absolutely. Yeah, Hammer horror films were incredible. Maybe just as much so as Universal. They were like the next generation. They grew up on all the Universal films, and they did their depictions of it, like you said. But they added more color and blood and the women in the costume.
The women, yes.
Yeah, the cleavage, the whole bit. I mean, that's where you first saw that. And also like a real kind of like almost aristocratic aura, Christopher Lee, a more British kind of aura to it.
It was more of the sort of stately, sort of aristocratic menace.
Absolutely. And the sets and the colors. The colors are the colors that you actually use in the book, actually. That could be another show, Hammer horror films.
Yeah.
So that's 2 shows we got to do now. But yeah, tremendous influence too, Hammer.
Gracie comes to say, not Universal, but the first horror that truly scared me is a tie between the Leprechaun and the Poltergeist. Now, old people and anyone under 4 feet make me sweat.
You got to look out for that. That's right. She's right.
What about people with an Irish accent?
Seriously. Leprechaun was a scary ass movie.
No, it wasn't.
Hey,
yes, it was.
Hey, can I tell you something? I worked on Leprechaun 4 in space. Yeah, I worked at Lionsgate at the time, and they ended up giving me the rights to do the graphic novel for Leprechaun because I worked there. And so I did a sequel that comes between number 5 in the Hood and In the Hood 2. So I got to do the comic book sequel to it. And it's awesome. So great, yeah. And it's out, available. It could be, I think, on CryptoComics. But yeah, we did it.
I don't think I've seen that one, but I'm going to look for it.
I haven't seen that one yet, but I'm looking for it.
Yeah, we did a 4-issue miniseries of the Leprechaun series, and it starred Jennifer Aniston, the original. But yeah, that's one of my. I was like, because I'm not a big horror fan, I'm scared of everything, and we got to do that, and we got to do Warlock, which was the truly insane.
Warlock book's great.
Yeah. So.
Oh
yeah, I've seen Warlock. I've seen Warlock in the marketplace, but wow, that is awesome.
Yeah,
you did the comic book of Warlock, Darren? Yeah, was it the comic book you did? Was it the comic book you did of Warlock? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Here, I'll bring it up right now.
Big fan of those films. Yeah, great.
Here, check this out. Matt's about to show it to you, Chris.
Oh, it's there.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Right.
Yep, it's in the marketplace. That's so awesome.
Yeah, get the Leprechaun stuff up there. It's really good. It's written by Zach Hunchar, who actually worked with me at Lionsgate at the time. He's super great. This artist is really good too, Jacob Bear. He's doing some amazing stuff now too. So, follow him.
Okay, so I gotta add my 2 cents here, guys. I know it's not technically a Universal movie, or technically a movie, really. The Thriller video, that's my all-time favorite monster movie.
Right on.
Price.
Cool. Yeah,
I'm totally down with that.
Oh boy, he's okay. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't know he was going to go off.
You did this, Matt. Look at what you've created.
Oh, he's going full screen.
Oh, sorry, y'all. Sorry about that.
I'm on it.
All right. So,
All right.
So if Pepe Le Pew is cancel culture, why is Michael Jackson not? I'm just throwing that out there. Sorry.
what?
Ooh, controversial.
Uh-oh.
Why is Woody Allen not
Didn't
either?
hear how controversial it was.
Let's get back to Abbott and Costello.
Yeah, really.
Darren, talking about monsters, eh?
Oh yeah. My favorite character is Woody Allen.
Who's here?
Watch the documentary on HBO. It's really
Yeah,
good.
no, that raises a good point.
Well, isn't it interesting that we find the scariest monsters are sort of the external manifestations of the darkness inside. You know, you and I talked about that once, Baron, when we talked about Bela Lugosi,
Right.
the absolute gentleman, and then whenever circumstances had arisen, the beasts within manifested. You know, so I think you do that very well in the comic. Actually, you do that soul
Thank
transition.
you. Again, I learned from the best, from Bela Lugosi and all the masters. Yeah, but you're right. I mean, the idea of the vampire, it's like you don't really know he's a monster. It's like the Wolfman. It's obvious. Like the vampire comes to you, dressed nicely, very sophisticated, almost romantic. Like you want to hang out with him, So that's what makes it even more horrifying and more difficult to deal with. So, and that's fascinating, where it's almost like the horror is kind of implied. It doesn't reach out and grab you right away. Those are the ones you got to look out for. No question about it.
All right. So where can everybody go to pick up the book?
Well, there's two different editions. There's you can get the super cool with the glossy cover and everything from Amazon. Has like that one, and then if you want the traditional floppy, like you love your floppies, the ones that smell like paper and all that stuff, Comic Flea Market has them. They're digital everywhere, so you can go to Amazon. Look, there's the book right there. So it's
Okay.
yeah. And if you do get it on Prime, or if you do get it on Amazon, it's free shipping.
Woo!
Bam!
Gotta love Amazon.
Exactly. Gotta love it.
All right. With that, guys, we're at about an hour and a half. So I just want to say thank you guys for joining us on the stream. Thank you, everybody, for watching it. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the little bell notification. And then when we go live, make sure to share this out so you can tell your friends so that everybody can go out and pick up the book. Flesh and Spirit, pretty badass. Do it.
Yes,
Thank you.
support your creators, please. These indies, help them so they can make us more awesome comics, please.
Yes. Words to live by. Thank you, gentlemen, for having us. It's been it's
Thanks
been a
for
great evening.
joining
We covered
us.
a lot of ground here, and the laughs were monstrous as I anticipated that they would be.
Sorry, we were just saying hi to Daniel real quick.
We got to do the Daniel shout out every time
I know.
for good luck.
It's because he knows how to throw a comic.
Oh yeah.
We're watching. I'm just saying.
Oh,
All right.
jeez.
I'm sorry.
Jared and I
All right.
on the show drinking coffee.
Oh, for God's sake, don't give Jared coffee or any stimulant. Jesus Christ. Oh, me.
I don't like the fact that a doctor's saying that to me. Weird boys.
We love you really, mate, but Jesus fuck. You see that dance she did? That is going to haunt me for the rest of my life. You talk about scary things, that's going to haunt me for the rest of my life. Thank
That's
you
the
for
true
that.
horror. What we're doing is mild here. This vampire stuff is mild.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, this is the greatest thing ever. All right. Thank you,
Follow
everybody.
Aaron on YouTube and follow him on Instagram. Important. So we
Very much.
can make stuff famous.
All right.
Right.
And just in case somebody didn't hear that, Darren said, make sure to follow Baron on Instagram and follow Baron
Oh, actually, I didn't
on
hear it.
YouTube.
I'm glad you said that, Darren. I'm glad you said that into the mic. Yeah. Please definitely follow us. Follow all of us as well. We're up to all sorts of interesting and evoking things, and we love meeting everybody online as well. We're all. It's almost like a family, the comic book genre and the fans here. So we look forward to the next step, And it's been a great night. So again, gentlemen, thank you. Always great to see my friends Darren and Chris here. I got bookends, one on each side of me. That's a good thing. So yeah, thanks again for having us, and thanks for everyone that tuned in and listened to my bad jokes and all that stuff, the dancing, the whole bit.
Sure, it's dancing.
We thank you all. Yeah, exactly.
guys,
I make fun
that
of my
wasn't
jokes
me.
just as much as the dancing, though. So
That wasn't me. So that was the coffee.
it's anything can happen in the comic world. So there you go. So yeah, run out, get in flesh and spirit. Here it is.
It's got bite to it.
This is a picture from my dentist on the back cover, and we're all set. We look forward to the next step. Thank you, everybody. You've been great.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
I guess.
Thanks, guys.